Hi, welcome to Johnny Random Show in partnership with Biz Coach TN, our consulting and training business. We always pick a topic every week, or two topics sometimes, and just discuss it and try to add some value, some interesting things to get you in that mindset.
These are coming from articles that I wrote that are posted on the blog. This one was titled Beyond the Jackpot, A Key to Lasting Change. I've been reading a book by Lou Tice. It's called Personal Coaching for Results. A lot of what he talks about is your self-talk. We talked about that in one of the other videos, that we need to break out of that I can't type mentality. Tice says all meaningful and lasting change starts first on the inside, then works its way out. And so transformation happens within the way that we think. Major breakthroughs in life are because we think differently. It's helpful to have a coach talking with us and looking at how we use words and how we talk about ourselves and the projects and the reasons in our thoughts, and just can't seem to get beyond. It takes inner work to change, and it may take time. And one of the examples that he uses is with Roger Bannister. 1954, ran a 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
4-minute mile. And before that, no one thought that a 4-minute mile could be broken. But once it was broken, for the next 4 years, another 40 people broke the 4-minute mile. And it's not uncommon for there to be high school students that can break a 4-minute mile now. And the question is, well, why is that? Well, part of it can, big part of it, it was just a mindset. Once somebody did it, you realized you could do it, and maybe you would, push yourself a little bit harder to make that. You're close, but you're just not quite, but it can be done. So you extend that effort, that, pain, that drive, that looking at how this other guy did it. How did he run? How did he train? And then, break that barrier. Self-talk is, so very important. I also wrote in this article too, something I also saw happen where there was an external change. A friend of mine's sister won a jackpot, won a lottery, got several tens of thousands of dollars. And within a year, she was back to being broke and worse off than she was before. And we've seen that same thing happen with a lot of people who become famous really quickly. The movie that you're in does extremely well, and you're known by everybody, and you're suddenly a celebrity, and you have all this money and all this opportunity. Or you're a football player and you get chosen, in the right draft, and suddenly you have a several $1 million contract. But then your life just implodes, where you just, stumble and you choke and you fall down. And that's where a lot of, professional coaches working with athletes in particular, with what they are doing, that's because of what they're thinking and
Right.
where they're wrong in those things. And so it's part of life that sometimes our self-image of who we are needs to be upgraded in order to be able to accept the praise, accept the work, not self-sabotage. And some of that inner work may also be that there be a consistency in our life. Sometimes we're saying this to people, but we're really doing this. And because of that, then we cannot perform at our job, because we have this inner conflict of what we say and what we're actually doing. And so there's those things too, as part of our growth. The mindset is very, very important in all aspects of our life and what we say inside. And it comes with a self-awareness. You have to, do some introspection, do some work to be self-aware of what your thoughts actually are when certain things are said to you or certain things happen or why. You have to challenge those negative beliefs. Is this really true? And then we have to reframe, what we're thinking. There's a whole path of how to affirm things that needs to be taken into consideration, how to visualize. Those are all very important aspects that we can take you through as part of a coaching program. Part of that transformation might also be seeking support. It's easier to lose weight if you've got a partner to go to the gym with, some sort of accountability, and then also understanding how the mind works as well. If I say I don't want to be this unhealthy person, that's a motivation for a while. But at some point, if I lose 8 pounds, is that enough that now I can go back and start, eating a few cookies now and then? See, that negative, I don't want to be this, works for a while. But if we're going to understand visualization, we're going to understand motivation, we also need to know that there's also something that needs to pull us in that direction that we want to go into. So there's both the positive and negative things that we need to look at, and then look at how we're doing things consistently. But those are just a few things.
No, I was gonna say this is great. And this kind of when you were talking originally, I was thinking about how we talked about mythology about or your past, the things of your past kind of like bleeding into defining your future. And then we talked also about if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get the same results. It's very like action oriented. And then we talked about the past and how that influences your thinking on where you're going.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thought seems to be situated right in the middle between what you do and what you think, about your past. This is that crux. It's almost the balance point of your thoughts. You can change that story that you tell about your past, and you have to. So this is a more
Mhm.
practical thing, so that it also bleeds into you don't do what you've always done, so that you get the same results. So this is kind of ties all those themes in together. That we've talked about on this channel before, and in biz coach sessions. I also think about the NFL. They realized that some of these guys were coming in getting these huge contracts, and so what they started doing is just recently, in the last I think year or two, they started paying college players, which before weren't being able to make money, and they were being stars in college, not making any money. Their schools and their programs are making all this money off of them being an outstanding player, and they're not
Mhm.
getting any benefit of that. So in allowing them to get paid through their college contracts, then when they get to the NFL, it's not such a culture shock. It's not just like, wow, now I've got all this money and success. And we'll see how that works. I am inclined to think that that's a really smart thing to do, because you won't have people so overwhelmed with just the experience of going, professional, football, where it's profession, whereas before you were doing it in college, maybe you could transfer to another college and, whatever. So Dave Ramsey, I heard, tries to do. He tries to connect with NFL football players, and tries to, get them into the Dave Ramsey program, because a lot of guys are coming from places where they didn't have money, like generational wealth. Parents weren't set up. So they, like you said, was it your sister you said that came into a lot of money and then was,
Yeah, my sister did as well, but it was a friend of mine's sister.
oh man, oh, okay.
But both my sister and a friend's sister both came into money, and within the year, my sister literally burned.
There's someone on my wife's side of the family who's done the same thing, and she's won lawsuits and is just as broke as you could imagine. And
Yeah,
and it's because it's like you're saying that it's like it seems like money would solve a lot of your problems, right? But you still have
yeah,
to it's like going on vacation, right? People is always like, going on vacation. The only problem is that I go with me. It's like you take your habits, you take your thoughts, you take your struggles, wherever you go, and if you can't work on that and fix that, then you're still going to have same problems with the different scenery. Right? So I was thinking recently about at work, we had a task, a project that we were working on, and it's kind of like we've done small projects and kind of just moved at their own pace. But then we had a large project that was kind of all hands and everybody got involved in.
Mhm.
When everybody did that for months on end and got that project delivered, then you go back to your smaller projects, and it's like, this is nothing. I used to sit here and like try so hard to figure this out, trying to do this and that and put this together, that spreadsheet, and everything. But after coming back from like all hands, everybody bringing their contributions, to this. Oh, you do it that way and it's really, really fast. You do this, it's really, really fast. This is your shortcut. Oh, this is all you need in here because we thought we needed this. And you actually
Mhm.
just this and this, in this situation. These are just contingents. They're not applying across the board. And that's just an analogy of, once you break that record, so to speak, once the team realizes there's this achievability quality, here it's
Mhm.
like, whoa, then you go back into your smaller, projects, and smaller groups where you have that confidence built in on doing stuff.
You have to have that growth mindset and to grow, um, and believe in yourself that you can do this. You may not be able to do it today, but you can learn and get whatever you need to to get to that point.